makes it happen is one goal: everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good, and we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Tell him, Drew Brees. It is New Orleans. I'm pretty sure about that. Yeah, you're right. Let's get this thing going on a Fantasy Friday. Corey Johnson back at you. Oh, yeah. Did I mention it's a Fantasy Friday? The weekend's upon us. I'm still coming up from air from Mardi Gras, huh? And then we got all kind of festivals coming up. It's that time of year. St. Patrick's Day, Irish Italian, of course, French Quarter Fest, Jazz Fest, Zurich Classic Golf over at the TPC on the Best Bank. A lot going on. Hey, Fletcher Mackel's back from Italy, covering the Olympics for over 3 weeks. What a gig, man. He covered the Olympics a few years ago in Paris. The Summer Games, was there for over 3 weeks. And he just spent 3 weeks in Italy. That's as good as it gets. Now, putting in a ridiculous amount of work. But, I mean, by default, you're getting to enjoy these great countries. Fridays with Fletch. It's a tradition. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll visit with the WDSU sports director, Fletcher Mackel. Yeah, you right. Scott Craig's going to join us from Francesca Deli and Katie's in Mid-City in the 5 o'clock power hour. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. They just had their banquet this morning, or this midday, lunch, noon, over at the Hyatt Regency, their annual banquet. We'll get a recap of that and what to expect in 2026 in Metro New Orleans. The tide's turning. I don't know how big it is. I don't know if it's just it stopped going out and it's starting to come back in finally. But it is inevitable one day New Orleans will be a vibrant city with a great economy. I mean, when you look around the United States of America, it's a lot easier to pick out the cities struggling like New Orleans. And we've been struggling for about 40 years since the oil bust of the early to mid 80s. It's insane. Like a 40-year stagnation period. Folks flocking out of the city, and not just to Jefferson Parish or St. Bernard, where life is hot, 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 or the North Shore, but the southern Mississippi Gulf Coast has exploded since coronavirus crisis, with a lot of New Orleanians moving there. And then, of course, the Houston, Dallas, Atlantas, Austin, Nashvilles of the world, with tens of thousands of New Orleanians living in those places because of better economic times, better jobs, more money, better way of life, not struggling day to day. No, dysfunctional New Orleans, dysfunctional Louisiana. It's tough. It's been tough the last 40 years, but eventually we're going to turn the corner. I mean, it's hard to come up with cities in America that are financially struggling like New Orleans. We might be dead last. I mean, downtown Detroit is having a renaissance. Places like Pittsburgh had minor problems and are bouncing back. Fortune 500 companies, big medical presence, university presence, jobs available. No, when Detroit and Pittsburgh and places like that are doing pretty well, and then, of course, places that are just kicking butt and taking names, those 5 I just mentioned, like Austin, Nashville, Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, Phoenix, Denver, Seattle, Portland. I mean, folks can rip on like California. There's 40 million people in California. Are they losing population finally after decades and decades, maybe a century of growth? Yeah, they're losing a little bit of population. anyone who thinks that's permanent and like Texas and Florida are going to just be the dominant states and California is going to flounder, I don't know if they're paying really attention to California. I don't know about you, but when I go to California, I'm pretty fired up about it. If I'm in San Diego or Los Angeles or San Francisco, I'm like, wow, what a state, what a place. A little too crowded for me, a little too expensive for me, but a lot of folks love it, and a lot of folks will continue to love it. They'll rebound, they'll bounce back, and places like Texas and Florida will simmer down. New York City, losing population, New York State, it'll rebound. I mean, my second favorite city in the world's New York. And I'm not like the outlier. A lot of people love New York. So even like California or New York, it's hard to find a city in America that's struggling like New Orleans financially, economy-wise. So eventually we're going to turn the tide here, and we're going to look back on it and go, my God, how are we stagnant for 40 years? How is that possible? We just need it's a major domino. It's not just something, minor. Hey, we got a new Pizza Hut opening and there are 10 employees. It's got to be something big. It's got to be like white collar jobs, like a headquarters or a second headquarters relocating to the CBD of New Orleans, and 500 to 1,000 real jobs, white collar jobs paying north of 100 grand, not, hey, we got 50 and then in 3 years they're going to have 100 and in 5 years they're going to have 250. No, like right away, hundreds and hitting like 500 or 1,000 within 6 months or a year. Some domino is going to drop. Some major company, Microsoft, Cisco Systems, Meta, somebody is going to come to New Orleans and put a headquarters here, a Fortune 500 type company, and then the dominoes are going to fall. It's sort of like Canal Street. We're struggling there. Losing Saks Fifth Avenue at Canal Place is a major blow if you shop there or not. But I've always said Canal Street just needs a major retailer. And this is sort of yesteryear when I say like Nike Town or The Gap or Banana Republic. I mean, those are like fading out. But some new retailers that take over 2, 3, 4 stories of a Canal Street building, and then other folks that are in a similar or a business that at least follows that model, if they're not in the same type of business, will be like, they've done their due diligence, that business is thriving on Canal Street, and then they'll come, and then another will come, and then the dominoes fall, and Canal Street's reimagined. Same thing for New Orleans in general. We get some major company that's going to break through, that's going to employ hundreds, white-collar jobs, rent 6 floors of a CBD office building, all brand new, not the shuffling of the deck. I heard about the law firm that went from, I think, they moved out of Canal Place. They're moving to, they moved out of Place St. Charles. They're moving to Canal Place. Shell moves out of the Hancock Whitney, old One Shell Square. They're moving to their new building in the River District. Not a reshuffling of the chairs, but an entirely new company from out of town that presently doesn't have a presence in New Orleans that comes here and establishes a headquarters, a secondary headquarters here, hundreds of white-collar jobs north of 100K, and then the dominoes start falling. It's inevitable. I mean, American cities are thriving. They're thriving. New Orleans might be dead last in America as far as thriving or economy. So we're definitely dysfunctional. We're definitely broken. I definitely like Helena Moreno as mayor. I've talked about this a lot, discussed this a lot. Somebody who's not in it for herself, not selfish, not in it to set up herself or friends or family, not that John Ilario sickness, but someone that's civic-minded, that has a moral and ethical compass, that respects the fact that they were elected and owes it to the people, understands that she works for us. We so often get lured into this Edwin Edwards, Bill Jefferson, John Ilario funk where we're like, oh, so what if he, set up himself with a suite at the Superdome for Saints games with campaign money, or enriches himself, or sets up one son on different boards and commissions making six figures, sets up another as a riverboat pilot. I mean, the Heitmeyers have 6 kids that are riverboat pilots, 6 relatives. I think there are about 140 or so riverboat pilots in the 3 different branches. 140, 160, something like that. 6 of them are Heitmeyers. It's just obnoxious. It's not, boy, these guys are skilled. They're really great at what they do. They're special human beings that are navigating the Mississippi River. They're Heitmeyers. That's it. They're ordinary people at best. Maybe not even ordinary, maybe below ordinary. And because daddy or uncle or relative set them up with the high six figure, like 500-600 grand a year. Obnoxious pay in Louisiana. No, the Ilario family, the Heitmeyers, they don't have any shame. They don't have pride. They don't have honor. They're not like us. We work every day. We earn our money, paycheck to paycheck. No one's giving us anything. These folks are the opposite. They see they can take it, and they take it. And they take it. No, that's what I like about Helena Moreno. She's not into taking it. She's not here to set herself up. She's not going to give her, relative a job as a riverboat pilot or on some board or commission. It's refreshing, civic-minded, how it's supposed to be. Get used to that. Don't buy into the Ilario Heitmeyer, Edwin Edwards, Bill Jefferson scam. That's not how it's supposed to be. Those folks are unethical, immoral, low standards. We got hope, expectations with Helena Moreno. Finally, maybe we'll turn the corner. Corey Johnson with you, Fantasy Friday. Don't move.
If you're observing Lent, the Steak Knife in Lakeview is a great place to go. Start off with one of their 5 incredible salads with crab meat and avocado. How about a cup of seafood gumbo with shrimp, crab meat, and oysters? The crab meat au gratin as an appetizer or entree is as good as it gets. And speaking of entrees, try the Gulf Fish Robert, usually speckled trout or puppy drum, topped with jumbo lump crab meat. The Steak Knife in Lakeview for Lent.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
If you gotta have a fence, you gotta see the Fence Man, a locally owned, fully insured fencing company serving the metro New Orleans area for over 20 years. You gotta see the Fence Man. thefenceman-neworleans.com.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Steak Knife restaurant in Lakeview has been at it for over 50 years. The reason? Because the Roth family does it right, serving only USDA prime beef. A neighborhood restaurant, but you don't have to live in the Lakeview neighborhood to enjoy the Steak Knife. Open Tuesday through Saturday night, the Steak Knife on Harrison Avenue between Canal Boulevard and City Park. For a reservation, call 488-8981 or online, steakkniferestaurant.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Yeah, you right. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. It's a tradition on Fridays. This guy's been with us for years. Gotta like that. It's Fridays with Fletch, Channel 6, WDSU sports director, sports reporter, sports anchor, sports blogger, Fletcher Mackel, back from Italy after 3+ weeks covering the Olympics. Fletch, what's up?
Not a lot, Corey. Yeah, it is nice to be home. The wasn't nice this morning, but it's gorgeous now. So catching up on life. I was gone for 24 days, so I was kind of like in a little Olympics bubble. I mean, I was following what was happening back home, but I did have to kind of focus on that. So yeah, I got home late Tuesday night, and now I'm kind of just readjusting, catching up on life.
No, I bet, man. Is the clock finally back to normal?
It's getting there. Last night I kind of thought I was going to bed like on, Wednesday. Tuesday I got back late, and I was Milan is 7 hours ahead of New Orleans time, of Central time. So I feel like Wednesday night I'm like 8 o'clock. I'm like, why am I so tired? I'm like, oh, I know why, because it's 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. in Milan right now. So I was going to bed at like 8:30 and waking up at like 5 a.m. or something. But last night I kind of forced myself to stay up a little later to kind of start acclimating back better.
What was the number one thing you'd say about Italy, the country, and then the number one thing that stood out with the Olympics?
Yeah, well, the country, the people are amazingly nice. And I had the opportunity to go to Paris for the Summer Olympics. And in Paris in the summer is like the most, breathtaking storybook place you'll ever go. Milan's pretty awesome, but the Italians are just unbelievably engaging, personable, nice, like everybody at the hotels, the service industry, just the regular people you'd meet. It's just crazy how, look, I'm a chatty, engaging person, so I like to talk to people and random people. The Italians are hardcore, like personable. That's one of the big things that stuck out to me is how engaging and personable the Italians were. Then obviously the food, and Milan as a city is just, I mean, it's world class. And so it was fantastic. Professionally, what stuck out was I got to cover the women's hockey team when they won the gold medal. I covered all their games at the Olympics. That was pretty special. And then like Alyssa Liu, I had a chance to cover her and meet her, and she made history, or at least, the first female skater to win individual gold since 2002. So that was pretty special. Everybody keeps asking me, was I at the men's hockey game when they won gold? I wish I would have been there. I covered the closing ceremony Sunday night. So the men's hockey game, and this was all like predetermined. So the men's hockey game was Sunday afternoon, and then the closing ceremony was Sunday night. The last event was men's hockey, which ended up being USA-Canada in this epic match. But it was predetermined. So I covered the closing ceremony later that night, which was great too. And but yeah, I would say the women's hockey was pretty special, and then the figure skating was pretty cool too.
Any Olympic athletes that you were kind of impressed by just how down to earth they were? You're interviewing them, and they're like actually talking to you and engage with you, where you're like, wow, So
you know what I'm going to say? Almost all of them, and this isn't a dig, but it just is, it shows kind of the different world, so to say. And I'll set it up by saying this. I covered the Summer Olympics in Paris, and I covered all the basketball games. So I covered, the Steph Curry night game when the Americans beat France in Paris to win gold with Victor Wembanyama and everything. And look, Steph Curry stopped and did an interview with me leaving the court, which was pretty great. So did Kevin Durant. But the lead up to the summer games, a lot of the track athletes, they are professional stars overseas. Like Mondo Duplantis is a big star overseas. It's a little bit more of a professional, like, I'll do the media I have to do for the Summer Olympics more than the Winter Olympics. The Winter Olympics, a lot of these athletes, this is it. This is their star is shining bright every 4 years. And so they lean in and relish that hard. So everybody that, like, Jordan Stolz is a speed skater from Wisconsin who won 2 gold medals and a silver and was fantastic to deal with. The women's hockey team was amazingly great. Like, every player on the team, after every practice, after every game, they were great. All the skaters, like literally everyone, Amber Glenn, Alyssa Liu, Madison Chock, and Evan Bates, they did interviews ad nauseum with everybody who wanted to do them. So I think overall they understand that there is no figure skating league, and there is no speed skating league. Maybe in the Netherlands there is, but they don't have the same platforms year round that some of the Summer Olympians do. So I found the Winter Olympians overall to just be amazingly engaging.
Now, how long were you in Italy? Like 23, 24 days?
Yeah, 24 days, like 23 days working, 25 days total with a day of travel on the front, a day of travel on the back. So 23 days of work, 25-day total trip.
Now, I was telling folks, during the week, hyping that you'd be coming on from Italy. You joined us 3 straight weeks. I love it.
I know, and I feel bad. I apologize because every time, like last Friday night, I was at a women's hockey game. It's like, it's 4:25 here. It's 11:25 there. So, like, you catch me, and I'm like, okay, the game's over. I gotta go.
No.
And it's like I'd have to hang up quickly.
No, the opposite. No apology needed. I was just hyping how awesome it was that you do this every week in general when you're in town, and you did it 3 straight weeks every single week when you're in Italy at 11:20 at night. I don't care if I got 30 seconds with you. I loved it.
I know. Yeah.
I was also hyping you coming on every week. I'm like, Fletcher's up early and he's working like 8, 9 in the morning, and he's working till like midnight every single day. Were there any breaks where for a few hours here, a half day there, you got to actually sort of be a tourist, or no?
Not really. And so, and look, I'll say this. Just being there, like, the Olympics is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And then to get to go to Paris in the summer for the Olympics and then Milan. But I'll say this, they are pretty like dogmatic about like the rituals they follow and how they do things, I've learned. And they prep you. Like, they tell everybody, you've been picked for this trip because we've got recommendations that you're a pro and that you're a grinder, and that there isn't going to be and look, I'll say this. There are days when, like, a typical day for me, just to kind of set it up, was I would do live shots coast to coast, like, for 30 different stations, starting in Boston and ending on the West Coast in like Sacramento or Monterey. And that takes like 5 or 6 hours. Then it would be, okay, go do a story now on, like, how some of these restaurants in Milan fry pizza. They don't bake pizza. Fried pizza is a big deal there. So it's like, go do that. And then tonight you're covering women's hockey. So it's kind of like, okay, like, you're up early, and then but in between, sure, you can get lunch, or after like the game, it would be like saying, hey, let's all get a drink at the bar down the street. And then some days it was, if you had like a 14-hour day, the next day they may say, okay, you're going to only have a 10-hour day today. But there was no like half day or, oh, today's your day to be off, go enjoy the city. It's like, enjoy the city when you're walking around or grabbing a lunch or grabbing a dinner. But that was it. Yeah. So it was basically the Olympics in C Milan around my Olympic work duties.
Now, like, so at 3 in the afternoon or something, you're doing morning drops on morning shows around the country?
Yeah, so it would start, which was good. The time worked out great because so every day we'd have a breakfast meeting. I stayed in a media hotel, so it was like 85% media. So our group would have a breakfast meeting at the team hotel or at our hotel at 8:30 every day, and then we would start doing live shots for the East Coast stations, 4 a.m. on the East Coast, 10 a.m. in Milan. So once you got acclimated, it was basically like working a regular long day. So, and we do live shots from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. for all the stations around the country, start on the coast and just go all the way to the West Coast.
Wow.
And then at 4 p.m., it would be like, hey, and like I said, some days it may be, hey, you're off from 4 to 7, and you've got to be at speed skating at 7:30 tonight. So that's like a 3-hour break where it could be like, okay, let's go walk around for an hour, get some gelato, and see some sights. So like I said, there's an opportunity to do it, but you kind of have to pick and choose your spots.
Hey, Fletch, what was like a memorable meal that you had in Italy? Now, you're in northern Italy. New Orleans is a bunch of Sicilians, southern Italy, the island off the coast. What was a memorable meal, and are there any similarities?
No, so it's funny you say that. I did a big segment with Michael Galata from Tana Restaurant. He worked in Italy, and he worked in the southern part of Italy, and he said the same thing. Like New Orleans is a ton of Sicilians, and you think of like kind of the citrus, the tomatoes, the red sauces, and that's great. I mean, I love that Italian, and they certainly had all of that there. But northern Italy, because it's so close to Austria and Switzerland, it's a lot of risotto and ossobuco and like, you know, like even like the pasta, it's a lot of like more heartier, like you know, than it is just kind of like the spaghetti and meat sauce or the spaghetti and meatballs. So the main dish that I went to, it would be like coming to New Orleans and saying I got to get gumbo, was I did a lot of risotto Milanese or the ossobuco, because those were kind of like, when in Milan, that just seemed like everybody's go-to dish.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. Brown sauce and the ossobuco, just no knife needed, huh? Just peel it off with a fork, huh?
Yeah, and some of it was just like, I felt like all of a sudden I became an expert. I'm like, the restaurant we went to 2 nights ago had better, like the risotto I liked better than this. Like all of a sudden it was all good, but now I'm like becoming an amateur, like expert on risotto Milanese, But again, look, I had a lot of pizza. I had a lot of pasta, period. It's all, they serve all the classic Italian dishes, and there's a ton of restaurants, but I did go kind of lean into their specialty, if you will.
Fletcher Mackel's with us, another edition of Fridays with Fletch. She's back from Italy. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning, a New Orleans institution since 1940. Want to experience the best dry cleaner in New Orleans? It's easy. 86 years of excellence. Young's Dry Cleaning. Walk-up locations, free pickup and delivery, manless locker locations all around the city. Young'sDryCleaning.com
is a great place to go. Start off with one of their 5 incredible salads with crab meat and avocado. How about a cup of seafood gumbo with shrimp, crab meat, and oysters? The crab meat au gratin as an appetizer or entree is as good as it gets. And speaking of entrees, try the Gulf Fish Robert, usually speckled trout or puppy drum, topped with jumbo lump crab meat. The steak knife in Lakeview for Lent.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Yeah, you right. Friday afternoon. Hey, Lebanon's Cafe's open till 9:30 tonight. They're open every night from 9:30. They open at 11 a.m. in the morning, and they're open straight through till 9:30. Lamb chops, shish kebab, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides. Tonight for dinner, make it Lebanon's Cafe. And with this gorgeous weather we're having right now, outdoor dining at Lebanon's Cafe. Fletcher Mackel's with us, another edition of Fridays with Fletch. He's back from the Olympics in Italy. Fletch, were you keeping up at all with stuff going on in the sports world in North America, in New Orleans?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like, it was funny because, like, before I would go to bed, I would kind of, or when I woke up in the mornings, I told you we had breakfast meetings. Before I went to bed, I'd kind of be like, what are they covering today? So I kind of follow it. And then, like I said, we're 7 hours ahead. So I'd usually wake up at 7:30, 7:45, and it's midnight in New Orleans. So I could be like, did the Pelicans win? What's going on? So I, for the most part, followed my colleagues and what was happening. Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of the Pels, you know, what were they, 2-10 when they fired Willie Green? 2-10.
Yeah.
Yeah. They went from winning like, you know, 10, 15% of their games to about 1/3 of their games now.
Yeah, I still don't know what to think about the Pelicans, to be honest with you. Like, and I love talking about the Pelicans, but I'm just, look, I can't wait till the season ends and Joe Dumars lays out the plan for the future because, you know, like right now, you now have DeAndre Jordan playing more than Derek Queen. And look, I get it. DeAndre Jordan is a been there, done that veteran who's played in a boatload of playoff games, who won a championship with Denver. He's definitely at the back end of his career. But now, like early in the season, you wanted to play the 19 and 20-year-old in Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears.
Yep.
And now that the season's over, like you're playing DeAndre Jordan and DeJounte Murray and Jordan Poole and the young guys. I get they've probably hit the rookie wall, but the season's over. Like, this is probably when you should play them. And so, again, I just feel like the Pelicans have been massively confusing and a massive letdown. And I can't wait to hear what Joe Dumars says as far as kind of like a plan for the future.
No, Queen was like the face of the franchise 3 months ago. Now he's playing 17 minutes a game coming off the bench.
Right. That's what I don't understand is, and look, I get it. He's hit a rookie wall. His numbers are spiraling. He played 1 year of college. He played 30 games last year. The NBA is a man's league, okay? Like Anthony Davis learned that. All these young guys, they're 18, 19, 20 years old. I think he's hit the rookie wall. But again, I just feel like play him and tell him to push through. And if you're bad, you're bad. Like, you made the decision early on to play these guys, then just stick with it. Like, again, like just like that again. That's what I find confusing is like, okay, like I get it. Like, I mean, DeAndre Jordan's probably not going to be back next year. Like, I think it's nice that they win because winning is better than losing, but you're going to win with guys that like Jordan Poole's probably going to get traded this offseason. DeAndre Jordan probably won't be back next year. So it's kind of like some teams that are out of it right now, they tried to win and they couldn't. So then they pivot to the young guys. The Pelicans basically said, play the young guys now, and that's caused them to be pretty bad. And now it's like, you know what? They've hit a wall. Let's play the veterans. It's like, again, it's just a confusing team.
Are you sold on Joe Dumars? I mean, he failed at the end in Detroit. No other team wanted him. He ends up working in the NBA offices. The Pelicans pluck him from there. His first major move, this trade is criticized league-wide. It's hard to find any human being outside of New Orleans that likes the trade where the Pels essentially lost a lottery pick in the draft. Are you sold on Dumars or not?
So I am, believe it or not, I am sold on Dumars. Like, I think Joe Dumars has forgotten more basketball than maybe any of us are ever going to know. As a player, as an executive, I am not as sold on Troy Weaver. And again, he's hitched his wagon to one of his longtime confidants, a man named Troy Weaver.
Yep.
Troy Weaver had, at least Joe Dumars had success as a player, had a lot of success as an executive. I know the end of his tenure in Detroit went sideways, but he won a championship as an executive. He took another team to the finals as an executive. Like, this is a man who has built teams. Troy Weaver, who has a lot of input on this team, is Dumars' number 2 and one of his long confidants. He basically is the one who put them in a lot of these deals. And Troy Weaver oversaw the Detroit Pistons when they were like the worst team in the last 25 years. So that's where I think they probably have to reconcile some things. Like, hopefully maybe this year, Joe got more acclimated getting back into the league and will take more of a hands-on role and tell Troy, for better or worse, I need you to step back. Like, I can't have you – I mean, because Troy was the one who made the Jordan Poole deal. Troy is the one who pushed for the Derek Queen trade. So, again, like, when things don't work out and they go this like, awful, you probably have to have a heart-to-heart discussion. I mean, like, look – The worst thing that could happen, and it may happen because it would just be, from a PR standpoint, irreparable damage, and I don't know how you recover from it. If the Pelicans lottery pick that they traded to get Derek Queen ends up becoming the number 1 overall pick in a draft that people are talking about being generational, I mean, that's a move that you may not recover from. Like, it doesn't matter what you do going forward. You just may never recover from something like that.
Yeah, I spoke about this months ago when Zion Williamson wasn't doing anything, before the new year. It's like, you want him to come back strong. You want him to be like NBA Player of the Month. You want him to be everything you've ever imagined. And then you want to trade him because you want some value for that trade. He's probably going to play 60 games for the first time in years in a season. Playing pretty good basketball, probably has some legitimate trade value. I mean, you're never going to get what you want for him, but you might be able to get something decent. But I'm weary that isn't in Joe Dumars or Weaver's plans, that they want to stick with Zion Williamson. Are you still pretty bullish on Zion Williamson getting traded eventually?
I am, because I think they have to. But look, I've talked to people that think exactly what you do, that Zion is having one of his better seasons of his career, that he seems to be bought in, he's playing hard, so maybe they keep him. But the problem is one of the reasons why DeAndre Jordan is now playing more minutes than Derek Queen is because Zion and Queen are awful defensively and awful rebounding. So, like, there's no metrics that show these two together are going to be good. Like, the advanced metrics and stats say they're terrible together and they should never play together. So, again, like, I think this summer, hopefully Zion's worth will be, as you said, of significance, or at least some kind of significance, and maybe they can retool the roster that works better. I just don't know if there's a path for Zion and Queen and And I'm curious to see what they do. Look, another misstep that maybe Joe made, because I kind of put a lot of the fault on Troy Weaver, is Joe went all in on Zion. He immediately said, he's the face of the franchise. We're leaning into him, which has worked. But the problem is Zion is now showing that maybe he's not this amazingly generational, unreal force of nature that will lift teams to greatness. That he's a good player, but he's probably the second or third best player on a really, really great team. And I feel like this team, it just, the pieces don't fit quite right.
Borrego sticking around as coach, or are they going to go in another direction?
My gut tells me they probably go in another direction, but I would like to see James Borrego get another year and a full year and an off season with his team. The only thing about this is I really feel like the Pelicans are looked at pretty poorly right now. So I don't know if the best young coach is going to want to come, or some hot young coach or hot coach on the market is going to pick this job. Because I think the perception is Troy Weaver was a failure in Detroit. Joe's been out too long. Do I saddle up with them, and in a year or two, I'm the scapegoat and I'm getting run out? It reminds me of when Sean Payton had the opportunity to go to the Oakland Raiders, and Bill Parcells told him, don't do it. Like, it's the worst organization in the league. Don't do it. And Peyton didn't do it. And then the next year he got the Saints job, and the rest is history. But I think right now the perception of the Pelicans is not good. So maybe that empowers them to keep Borrego instead of firing Borrego and then having to settle for their fifth choice head coach.
No, the perception nationwide is it's one of the worst teams in the league, and it's one of the worst run franchises in the league. It seems like it's always mentioned as a potential team that could move. Do you buy into any of that?
No, I don't. That's like a bunch of BS. Like, that's just not true. Like, that's where I draw the line. Like, I'll say this: they are a bottom 5 franchise right now. There's no getting around it. What their record says is they're one of the worst teams in the league. How they have operated in the moves they've made, these are not good moves they've made. All of those things are true. Fan apathy right now is high, but all of this BS about like relocate or move that team, like Gail Benson has vehemently said, as long as I am breathing oxygen, this team is New Orleans' team. And I know right now they are working with state leaders to get a long-term deal and enhance the Smoothie King Center. So people that say that, that's more of the national wishful thinking, like, if we say it, maybe we can make it come to fruition. That I would not believe one iota of.
No, I hear you. There's a catch-22, I think, with like the state subsidizing the Saints and the Pels. It's not a lot of motivation to win. I know they want to win. I want to win. You want to win. Everyone wants to win, but certain things motivate one to want to win more than other things. And that subsidizing, I don't know if that really helps the Pelicans. And not a lot of folks are showing up right now, Fletch.
No, look, apathy's high. But look, I always tell people this, and I know we probably have to wrap up here soon, but I always tell people, look, I get it. People do not love public subsidies for professional sports. Then those people, and I don't mean this to be mean, so I apologize if it comes across that way, they really need to just divest of professional sports, because all of professional sports that's the way it works. Like, people will tell me, like, well, this guy, Steve Ballmer in LA built his own stadium. It's like, you're right. And for every Steve Ballmer, there's 10 other owners that receive subsidies. For every one owner in like Denver, the owner in Denver is one of the richest families in the world, that Walton family. Yep. They're going to build their own stadium. But every other stadium in the league is subsidized in some way. Yeah. Minnesota and everyone, Houston and Jacksonville and Carolina and New Orleans.
The Lamar Automotive Collision Center. It's open now.
Fletch, always a pleasure. Thank you.
We do all makes and models, and it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamar Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday, Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
If you got to have a fence, you got to see the Fence Man, a locally owned, fully insured fencing company serving the metro New Orleans area for over 20 years. You got to see the Fence Man, thefenceman-neworleans.com. If you're observing Lent, the Steak Knife in Lakeview is a great place to go. Start off with one of their 5 incredible salads with crab meat and avocado. How about a cup of seafood gumbo with shrimp, crab meat, and oysters? The crab meat au gratin as an appetizer or entree is as good as it gets. And speaking of entrees, try the Gulf Fish Robert, usually speckled trout or puppy drum, topped with jumbo lump crab meat. The Steak Knife in Lakeview for Lent.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Simlawn Artificial Turf Custom Golf Putting Green. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters.
And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it.
Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters' 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. Now, if you're like me, kind of the poster boy for Catholicism, I say this half jokingly, I don't really go to church on Sunday. I believe in Jesus. I pray. I believe in God. I like church. I just not disciplined enough to go, whatever. Got older and don't go enough. I don't know. Lent, I kind of just, I gave up something last year for Lent, like Coca-Cola and M&Ms, and I've just kind of continued it through the year. So I'm kind of not giving up anything for Lent this year. I'm just continuing the Coca-Cola, M&M thing. And like tonight, I'll go eat a steak maybe. I might get seafood, but I'm not seeking out seafood. So if you're like me and you want to experience like maybe a great steak, have you been to the Steak Knife in Lakeview on Harrison Avenue in between Canal Boulevard and City Park? Now, for a lot of folks, it's a neighborhood place, a lot of Lakeview, lakefront, folks like that hang out there, they're regulars. But there are some savvy folks that know a good steak when they have one, and they frequent the Steak Knife, and they live on the West Bank or out in Metairie or Kenner or even the North Shore. It's that good. I've got a top 38, 39, 40 list of best restaurants in the city. And the Steak Knife, before I began talking about them on this program, they were on the list. I've been going to the Steak Knife for 40 years since I was a kid. It's that good. They've got so many great items on their menu. Now, here's something that's interesting for you folks that might be observing Lent. I counted the items on the menu. There are about 40 items on the Steak Knife menu. That's including like 9 appetizers, a couple of soups, 5 salads, 6 entrees besides the 4 steaks. They've got a 6-ounce filet, a 9-ounce filet, a prime ribeye, a prime New York strip. And then they've got about 13 different sides. Of the 40 or so items on the menu, about 32 or 33 of them are Lent ready. like a lot more seafood dishes than steak dishes at the steak knife. Like the appetizers, 8 of 9 are ready for Lent. 8 of 9. All 5 salads, Lent ready. Of the entrees that aren't steaks, they've got 6 of them. Outside of the veal medallions, the other 5 entrees are Lent ready, like the Gulf fish Robert, which is fresh Gulf fish, usually speckled trout or puppy drum, pan sauteed, topped with jumbo lump crab meat. Fantastic. Shrimp bordelaise, the crab meat au gratin. And then I mentioned 13 sides, all Lent ready. So if you're observing Lent and you're not eating meat on Friday, especially during Lent, the steak knife is for you in Lakeview on Harrison Avenue in between Canal Boulevard and City Park. So good. The steaks are fantastic, some of the best in the city. And so are the entrees, the appetizers, the salad, the creamy Italian homemade dressing, one of the best salad dressings in town. Not only do I get it on a house salad, I get every time I go to the steak knife, I get it before I start eating. They have these little crusty, little toasty things that are fantastic. I get a little side order of those and a little plate of the creamy Italian dressing to dip these toasty things in, because that creamy Italian dressing, homemade, is so good. One of the best salad dressings in town. So if you want a steak tonight, the steak knife in Lakeview has you covered. If you're looking for something great for Lent, the steak knife in Lakeview, like 32 of 40 items on their menu are Lent ready. And I'm telling you, you'll love it. From the seafood gumbo to the crab meat au gratin, the steak night tonight in Lakeview for Lent. I know it sounds crazy. Corey, you're pushing the steak knife as a Lent place. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's like the 4 steaks on the menu, the veal medallions, and maybe 2 other items that aren't ready for Lent. The other like 32, 33 out of 40 on the menu, Lent ready. Get to the steak knife tonight. Get the gumbo, get the crab meat au gratin. You'll be glad you did. So good. That Gulf fish Robert, fantastic with the lump crab meat, puppy drum, or speckled trout. You can't go wrong. The steak knife in Lakeview tonight for dinner during Lent. I know, sounds crazy. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. We just had not 1 but 2 segments with Fletcher Mackel. He's back from Italy. Filled us in on all his escapades there and a little Pelicans talk. Coming up in the 5 o'clock power hour, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. They had their annual luncheon today at the Hyatt Regency. About 1,200 folks showing up, talking like a little recap of last year and looking forward to 2026 and what the future brings economically for the city of New Orleans. It's inevitable we're going to turn the corner. I know a lot of you are skeptical. No, New Orleans has been on a 40-year slide. I admit it. It's true. I talk about it all the time. Stagnant for 40 years. Eventually, we're going to turn the corner. I'm not going to say, boy, we're going to be like Houston, Dallas, Atlanta, or Austin, or Nashville and just have an exploding economy all of a sudden. But I think we're going to gradually start building, and eventually, I don't know, 3 years, 5 years from now, we'll look back and go, my God, how did we allow 4 decades of stagnation, of moving backwards? How did we allow that? I don't know, when you elect Edwin Edwards, John Alario, the Heitmeyer brothers, C. Ray Nagin, not once but twice, Junket Cantrell. I mean, that is broken dysfunction. That's where folks worry about black and white and Republican and Democrat over common sense, holding on to these fake fiefdoms, this just delusional mentality in New Orleans and Louisiana. There's a reason New Orleans struggles, and there's a reason Louisiana struggles. We focus on the wrong type of crap. Too many folks that aren't, outsiders with fresh ideas moving here. That's part of the problem. The stagnation's a lot of locals that don't want to give up their little fiefdom, their little city contract, their little BS job. No, and it just brings everybody down. I mean, look no further than the Alario Center, named after John Alario's dad. The proposed soccer stadium in Algiers named after the Heitmeyer's father. It's a friggin' joke, and it's overt. It's in your face. John O'Leary doesn't give a crap. He names the building after his dad, not some war hero from Avondale or West Wego, just selling out the citizens. But a lot of the citizens like, John O'Leary dumped some shells in my driveway 40 years ago. I'll never forget it. No joke. You should have forgot it the day it happened. You know, just pathetic. So no, what we're going to jettison that crap. The Ilario Heitmeyer, Bill Jefferson mentality, these jokers that set up friends and family instead of working for us. There's a broken mentality. Like when I say that, civic-minded, work for us. You folks like roll your eyes like, come on, they're Louisiana, New Orleans politicians. Even Blue Boy knows it's a friggin' joke. What's that, buddy? But you also know it's inevitable. We're going to turn the corner. The tide's got to turn soon. I hear you, buddy. And what else? With Helena Moreno, at least there's hope and expectations. I hear you, Blue Boy. Keep barking, buddy. Keep barking. Good boy. Good boy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5
Good
p.m.
boy. Good boy.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
If you're observing Lent, the Steak Knife in Lakeview is a great place to go. Start off with one of their 5 incredible salads with crab meat and avocado. How about a cup of seafood gumbo with shrimp, crab meat, and oysters? The crab meat au gratin as an appetizer or entree is as good as it gets. And speaking of entrees, try the Gulf Fish Robert, usually speckled trout or puppy drum, topped with jumbo lump crab meat. The Steak Knife in Lakeview for Lent. If you got to have a fence, you got to see the Fence Man, a locally owned, fully insured fencing company serving the metro New Orleans area for over 20 years. You got to see the Fence Man. thefenceman-neworleans.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spot. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spot.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters.
And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it.
Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you, 5 o'clock powwow on a Friday. But first ballot NFL Hall of Famer, Drew Brees. Thank you, Drew. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. The 5 o'clock powwow is upon us. The 5 o'clock whistle has rung. I love this time of the week, a little after 5 on a Friday. For most of us, 100% of the work week in the books. For most of us, 100% of the weekend smack dab in front of you. This very moment, I like smelling the roses. I like putting a spotlight on it. The 5 o'clock whistle brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. The perfect wind down spot. And with this gorgeous weather we're having right now, dine outside. They got tables lining down Iberville, along the Iberville side of the building, along the Tallahassee side of the building. They've got a courtyard, a patio inside the building, outdoor dining. Enjoy this outdoor weather, outdoor dining at Katie's. Start off with some of those onion rings. They're fantastic, some of the best in the city. And then an expansive menu, perfect for you folks that loved Lent and you know, are focused, dedicated to Lent, to your Christian faith. You Catholics out there in New Orleans, seafood on Friday. Katie's has at least a dozen different seafood items. At least a dozen different seafood items. More, actually, because it is Friday in Lent. And Scott Craig, of course, taking care of you at Katie's. Yeah, as New Orleans as it gets. Dine outside. Get some great seafood. Friday Lent. Tough to beat Katie's. Why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? Convenient for a lot of folks. 5 o'clock whistle appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Scott Craig will join us in a few minutes. We'll find out what's cooking, literally, at Katie's and at Francesca Deli in Lakeview. They got a seafood platter right now at Francesca Deli in Lakeview that's tough to beat. Francesca Deli on Harrison Avenue, in between Canal Boulevard and West End, right down the street from the Steak Knife. Another great place for Lent. I know, the Steak Knife for Lent. Yeah, about 40 items on their menu. About 32 or 33 are Lent ready. I mean, outside of the veal medallions and, you know, about a half dozen steaks, everything on that Steak Knife menu is Lent ready. Get over there tonight. Can't go wrong. Yeah, we got a good 5 o'clock powwow. Michael Heck's going to join us from Greater New Orleans Inc. I mentioned Scott Craig last hour. Fletcher Mackel joined us for a couple of segments. Boy, a crazy story. I don't know how this is possible. Police are searching for the parents of a little 2-year-old boy wandering the streets in the Bywater neighborhood. Just crazy. 2 years old. How does a 2-year-old get out of the house? How does a 2-year-old start walking around the neighborhood and isn't noticed by the parents missing, where other people find the kid and there aren't parents and their friends and their kids running around the neighborhood frantically looking for the missing 2-year-old. And the people that find him, you know, call the police, and the NOPD show up, and they're searching for the parents. So, boy, some crazy negligence going on there. I mean, things happen, people forget stuff, but a 2-year-old little boy, I just don't get it. I really don't. It's crazy. Crazy. Anyway, if you are, the parents searching for your 2-year-old boy, or the parents that are searching for the 2-year-old boy, call the NOPD. They've got your kid wandering around the Bywater neighborhood just a little while ago. Crazy. Crazy. This is a good bill. It's sad that it's necessary. House Bill 397. It's going to be illegal to throw Mardi Gras throws at someone in a harmful way. I don't know what it is, but a lot of folks that ride, I shouldn't say a lot, a few, actually, a small number of folks that ride were pelting police and law enforcement, like forcefully, aggressively. We're not at one, but 2 parades. They stopped the parade and emptied the float because it kept happening block after block throughout the parade route. And then there are folks that, like, I don't know what the guy in the Zulu parade was thinking with the wine bottle that he threw, and it ends up hitting a 4-year-old little girl in the head, required staples in the top of her head, blood everywhere. Just a horrific scene. She's 4. She's going to remember that the rest of her life, that in Mardi Gras she got hit by a wine bottle. I don't think the guy just tossed it off the float. I think he was aggressively throwing it at someone. And just generally speaking, I mean, I'm on the parade route on St. Charles Avenue. I'm on a buddy's porch, and I'm way off the parade route. I'm just talking to a friend, and then just this loud thump hits the wall of the house, and it was I want to say it was Tux or Toth, and I'm not faulting the parade. Many parades have this. It was a bead with like a sort of ceramic, doubloon type thing, emblem at the end of the bead. And that thing was pretty heavy. And then the bead is individually wrapped in plastic, and it's heavy. So for a rider to throw that like overhand, like a baseball, I mean, there almost has to be some legislation with like that. Like, forget about just the aggressive throws. I'm going to talk to the House rep that sponsored Bill 397. Anything that's heavy like that needs to be thrown underhand, just tossed, not thrown, but tossed underhand. Because if that thing would have hit me or someone next to me, I'm not kidding you, would have broke your nose, would have knocked out a tooth, would have shattered glasses, could have messed up your eye, black eye for sure. I mean, this thing was like a thud against the house building. I reach down and grab it, and it's a nice set of beads with like a ceramic emblem on the end. That the thing probably weighed about, I don't want to say a pound, but probably half a pound, a quarter of a pound. Definitely heavy enough to hurt someone, especially someone throwing it overhand like a baseball. So that House Bill 397 probably needs to be even altered a little, or, an amendment added to it, or some depth added to it, where any heavy throws can't be thrown overhand, have to be thrown underhand, just like tossed, and I don't know if you include distance. I don't know how you do it. But it's like these people riding, you, me, anyone riding, we're not like some baseball pitcher throwing in the strike zone, So I like House Bill 397 on the surface, just like people pelting police, pelting people with throws. That should be illegal. And when it happens, those people need to be identified and pulled off the float, and ideally arrested. Can't be aggressively trying to pelt someone because you're a rider on a Mardi Gras float. It's supposed to be fun. This goes in the S Loco category. I don't know how long this is going to last. What lawmakers, this is all political theater. It's to appease their political base, but it's going to backfire. They're opening a Pandora's box. I'm talking about the so silly 10 Commandments law. LSU in Baton Rouge. I mean, this is a diversified university. I think about 20% of the population's from out of the country. LSU has to post the 10 commandments in every LSU classroom. I mean, there must be a few thousand classrooms on the LSU campus in Baton Rouge. LSU's yes man to Jeff Landry, President Wade Rouse from McNeese. This is so comical to me. This is LSU's president. Instead of LSU scouring the country for the best and brightest to run the flagship university and the whole system, Jeff Landry goes and gets his buddy from McNeese State in Lake Charles. Now, maybe not. Wade Rouse is qualified for the job. Maybe. I doubt it. And is he the best available in the United States of America? Of course not. Not even close. Not even close. And here's the kicker for all you skeptics that are like, what, Corey? Maybe he's qualified. Who cares that he came from McNeese? Would you allow the LSU athletic department to hire the McNeese State athletic director to be the athletic director at LSU? Not only would you never allow that to happen, there would be LSU fans that never even attended the university, that just love the sports programs, especially football, that would literally be protesting on the campus. I mean, you got rid of Scott Woodward. You know, that was a Jeff Landry thing. Didn't like Scott Woodward. And maybe with the, Brian Kelly hire, Scott Woodward needed to go. I'm not here to answer that question. I'd have to do a lot more research in it. He hired Mulkey. He hired Jay Johnson. He's had a lot of success. Hired McMahon, not a good coach on the men's basketball side. Hired Brian Kelly, football, not a good hire. So, the resume, the report card's still out on Woodward. But he gets fired because Jeff Landry, the governor, is on a power trip, wants to control boards, fires him, and then puts his buddy in from McNeese as president of LSU on the academic side. But LSU people don't care about the academic side. All they care about is Saturday night at Tiger Stadium, and I'm right. Because if the McNeese State AD would have ascended to the athletic directorship at LSU, you people would have lost your you-know-what. So anyway, LSU's yes man, President Wade Rouse, the yes man to Jeff Landry, is posting the 10 commandments on the LSU classroom walls. When I say it's a Pandora's box, you know what's next. Muslim, Buddhism, the spaghetti monster religion, any and all. It's coming. Watch. Corey Johnson with you.
Steak tonight? The Steak Knife in Lakeview, serving only USDA prime beef. Open Tuesday through Saturday night. The Steak Knife since 1971 on Harrison Avenue between Canal Boulevard and City Park.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
If you're observing Lent, the Steak Knife in Lakeview is a great place to go. Start off with one of their 5 incredible salads with crab meat and avocado. How about a cup of seafood gumbo with shrimp, crab meat, and oysters? The crab meat au gratin as an appetizer or entree is as good as it gets. And speaking of entrees, try the Gulf Fish Robert, usually speckled trout or puppy drum, topped with jumbo lump crab meat. The steak knife in Lakeview for Lent.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Simlawn artificial turf custom golf putting greens. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks so much for joining us on a Friday. Hey, we're already into late February. It's going to be March this weekend. So we're almost at the end of the first quarter of 2026. Last year, at the end of last year, a lot of you folks were like, man, in 2026, I'm going to get a new job, a new career. Latrim is waiting for you. They employ over 1,400 folks on their over 100-acre campus in Elmwood, 100 acres plus in Elmwood. They've also got a facility off of I-12 on the North Shore, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore. Latrim's got a job for you. For a full listing of positions available, go to Latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. A culture of innovation at Latrim, and they're hiring. They're looking for you. Latrim.com for a full listing of positions available. It's a Fantasy Friday edition of the program heading towards the weekend. It's Friday. It's Lent. That means lots of seafood choices at Katie's in Mid-City. Scott Craig joins us at Katie's, right outside of Katie's. What a gorgeous day, Scott. Outdoor dining tonight at Katie's, either wrapping around the building or inside the patio.
It's absolutely beautiful. We had seating on the sidewalk until Junket Cantrell decided that we couldn't have seating on the sidewalk anymore. So we have our patio now.
Well, you got Helena Moreno. Why don't you throw those tables back out on Iberville and Telemachus?
Well, I have to clear it first. I don't want to disrespect her because I really don't like her. And, it's really not necessary because what we have out there now are benches where you can sit, and while you wait, and it's really nice. So, but we've got plenty of seating outside, plenty of seating. We've got lobster ravioli this weekend. We've got beautiful sea bass this weekend. We've got beautiful redfish this weekend. We've got beautiful fresh tuna this weekend. We've got beautiful fresh catfish this weekend. I've got seafood coming out the yan-yan. So it's an exciting time. I love Lent because I love to play with seafood. Honestly, the Food Network is going to feature our crawfish beignet on a new show. I can't say the name, but
wow,
I'm excited about it.
Nice.
I've been sending them frozen portions so that they can cook them on set so that their chefs can play with it.
Wow.
And it's great, man.
What's the crawfish beignet all about? Tell us about that dish.
Well, you haven't had my crawfish beignet, have you?
I've not had the crawfish beignet.
It's a great story because I was at Jazz Fest, 15 years ago. It was right after we had reopened Katie's, and I was eating the crawfish bread. And I was having a good time while I was out there. And while eating it. I said, man, I could make this. I just came up with the idea. That's how I got the idea. It's not crawfish bread, but it's fried pizza dough. And I didn't know fried pizza dough could be so good, but it is. So I came back that day and I threw some pizza dough in the fryer and I said, what I'm going to make. So I sauteed some crawfish tails. I put 3 different cheeses. I did caramelized onions, but when I caramelized the onions, I added agave nectar to the onions and pickled jalapeno. And I mixed that all up and stuffed it in pizza dough and deep fried it. And one of my waitresses back then took a bite and she went, oh my God, Scott, this is unbelievable. But it needs a sauce. So I went in the back in about 3 minutes. I made an aioli with crushed red pepper and jalapeno. It's spicy. It's a spicy dish. It's not bad though because it's pickled jalapenos.
Yeah.
And it's important to use pickled jalapenos because you need the juice to make other things. And it's just become one of our most popular dishes. It's been featured on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. It's been featured on the Travel Channel. It's been featured on the Canadian Food Network. I can't believe you've never had the crawfish beignet. It's one of the most famous dishes in the city, I believe, because it's internationally known. Everybody comes there to get it. And it's fun and it's different. It's really different. We were in the beignet contest for 2 years and we won both years. So, you know, when Guy Fieri came and he featured it, I couldn't believe they didn't put this on the show on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives because it was the second time he was there. Because we argued about whether it was a beignet or not, because it looks kind of like a baby calzone, but it's round and stuffed. And he goes, that's a baby calzone. And I went, nope. And I dropped it in the deep fryer. I said, now it's a beignet. I said, the definition of beignet is fried dough. It doesn't say what dough. It says fried dough. So that's how the crawfish beignet was created. Pretty funny.
Very funny. One of many Lent-ready dishes at Katie's.
Yeah, totally ready. Lent and ready to go. And we've got tons of seafood. We're also doing lamb chops tonight, so you can get a steak or whatever you feel like eating.
You got the
at Katie's would probably have it.
You get the shrimp oyster platter. You get shrimp or oysters separately. Yeah. You got the big seafood platter, that big oval thing for like $50 that feeds about 4 people.
Right.
What's on that?
At the deli, you can pick. Well, that's shrimp, catfish, oysters. Catfish, oysters.
Hush puppies, frips.
No hush puppies at Katie's, but we have fried crawfish tails.
Nice.
Which are great. I love fried crawfish tails. And with our fries, and it's absolutely delicious. It's like Tom Fitzmaurice said, and I agree. We have the best fried seafood in New Orleans. So at the deli, we do to-go pans. I mean, you can eat it in-house if you want, but you better bring a lot of people. We do a half pan of seafood for 2 to 4 people, which is at least 4 people can eat this. That is shrimp, crawfish. I'm sorry. Shrimp, catfish, oysters, hush puppies, crab cakes, brips, which are our fries.
Yep.
With all of the sides. You get sides with it and stuff. And you can get the half pan, which is a half steam pan, if you know what a steam pan is, and it's deep. It's not a shallow steam pan. It's a half.
It's like about a foot by a foot square almost, about 3-4 inches deep.
Correct. Or you can get the full pan, which feeds, it says 4 to 6, bro, but I'm telling you, it's 8 people easy.
Exactly.
And one of them, the small one's 49 and the big one is 74. But I'm telling you, 8 people can eat off it.
Yep.
And it's absolutely delicious. So we embrace Lent. It's my Catholic upbringing, although I'm not Catholic, but going to Catholic schools my whole life, I respect Catholicism. And
And I respect Lent. I respect what you give up during Lent, and everyone should give up something. I used to give up drinking, but I really don't drink anymore. So I don't know what to give up now, but I just don't drink at all during Lent.
Give up the ladies.
The ladies. I only have one.
Well, I'm joking with you.
And she's out of town, and I'm like, we're catering a wedding tomorrow, and we've got the big game at UNO tomorrow. So I've got plenty to do. But UNO is playing McNeese at home tomorrow on a 5-game winning streak. They're in 3rd place in conference right now. They just beat the number 1 team in the conference who hadn't lost a game at home in, 3 years. Stephen F. Austin, a Southland Conference game. They beat them last week. What was that? What's today? I guess it would have been Monday. It's an exciting time for UNO basketball right now. It's as exciting as it's been since 2017 when we won the conference tournament.
Scott,
to the NCAA tournament.
Scott Craig is a big follower, a big supporter of UNO athletics. He's an alum, and he loves them, and he's dedicated.
When I get behind something, I'm dedicated.
Yep, no doubt. Hey, it's Lent. It's Friday. Katie's has everything you need. Francesca Deli, seafood night on Friday. They're in Lakeview on Harrison Avenue in between Canal Boulevard and West End. So Scott Craig has you covered. And like he said, if you want a steak, Katie's has you covered. Filet, ribeye, lamb chops, pork chop, all kind of goodies at Katie's and Francesca Deli. Deli sandwiches, all kind of good stuff. Great pizzas at both places. Katie's and Francesca.
Steak, or you can get a pizza. We do a shrimp and artichoke pizza that's second to none. Everybody, I've got so many friends. That's their favorite pizza in the city is our shrimp and artichoke pizza. So that's another Lenten delicacy.
How late do you guys go tonight at Katie's?
10 o'clock at Katie's, 8 o'clock at the deli. So I will be back there in a little while. I just left. I'm coming home to walk my pup and go back to work. I've already got my basketball plays in for tonight and hockey. So.
Oh, boy, and hockey. You don't even know the rules to hockey.
No, I just listen to people. I do know the rules to hockey. I'm a big Blues fan. So, the St. Louis Blues. So.
Let me fill people in right now. You need air conditioning right now. It's like summertime outside. Total Maintenance has you covered in New Orleans and Baton Rouge. If you need heat help, because we'll still get a cold snap here or there, no doubt. We're not done yet. Total Maintenance is there for you. Fair and Honest Lucas and the boys. They've been at it for 40 years. Sterling reputation. When I say fair and honest, incapable of screwing you around on any repair, service, or even replacement. They'll only do what is absolutely necessary, which is refreshing because I don't want to learn about air conditioning. I want someone I can unequivocally trust. You can trust Lucas and Total Maintenance. Plus, when you need AC or heat help, they realize your inconvenience. They come with a sense of urgency, and they diagnose it right the first time. In New Orleans or Baton Rouge, if you need air conditioning or heat help, think Total Maintenance, tm-ac.com. If you need air conditioning or heat help in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, tm-ac.com
is a great place to go. Start off with one of their 5 incredible salads with crab meat and avocado. How about a cup of seafood gumbo with shrimp, crab meat, and oysters? The crab meat au gratin as an appetizer or entree is as good as it gets. And speaking of entrees, try the Gulf Fish Robert, usually speckled trout or puppy drum, topped with jumbo lump crab meat. The steak knife in Lakeview for Lent. Artificial turf custom golf putting greens. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet. Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
When you need a new fence or automatic gate at your property or place of business, anywhere in Metro New Orleans, you got to see the Fence Man. For over 20 years, the Fence Man has been taking care of residential and commercial customers, uses only the highest quality materials and products.
Because I'm the Fence Man.
For fences and automatic gates.
Yeah, I'm the Fence Man.
TheFenceman-NewOrleans.com.
South Shore residents that love good food are making the short trip across the lake to Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. North Shore folks have known about Gallagher's 527 for years. Now the South Shore has discovered this hidden gem. One of the metro area's best restaurants is less than 30 minutes away. Take the quick trip across the lake and experience Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. As good as it gets.
Simlawn artificial turf custom golf putting greens. Beautiful, functional, zero maintenance. Call New Orleans' own LGD Lawn and Landscapes and get your free estimate. The Steak Knife Restaurant in Lakeview has been at it for over 50 years. The reason? Because the Roth family does it right, serving only USDA prime beef, a neighborhood restaurant. But you don't have to live in the Lakeview neighborhood to enjoy the Steak Knife. Open Tuesday through Saturday night, the Steak Knife on Harrison Avenue between Canal Boulevard and City Park. For a reservation, call 488-8981 or online, steakkniferestaurant.com.
Now, believe it or not, the Steak Knife in Lakeview is Lent ready for you on a Friday night. I counted up the menu items, including appetizers, soup, salad, entrees, steak, sides, about 40 total menu items. About 32 or 33 of the 40 are Lent ready, including 8 of the 9 appetizers, all 5 salads, 4 of the 6 entrees outside of the steaks, and all 13 sides. Get some seafood gumbo. Get the crab meat au gratin. Get the Gulf fish Robert, usually speckled trout or puppy drum. The shrimp bordelaise. The Steak Knife in Lakeview for Lent. You know a little bit about the Steak Knife, don't you? Scott?
Yeah, you're working with Bobby. I'm so excited.
Yep.
You didn't tell me.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yes, I know a lot about the Steak Knife. It's one of my favorite restaurants in the city of New Orleans. And I think it's incredible because Bobby doesn't do a lot of marketing. So I'm excited that he's doing some marketing with you because you're good for each other, man. I mean, guys, the Steak Knife is a hidden gem that's been there, I don't know, 50 years?
Yeah, 55 years.
Yeah, and it's like his dad started it, and Bobby and Guy and his sister are taking over, and they do such a great job. and it's such a fun place. I mean, if anybody listening has not been to the steak knife, you gotta go. He uses the best prime beef you can get, and I know because I ran out of steaks on steak knife one night, and I had to borrow a case from Bobby, and it was $40 a pound, and I'm like, I'm selling this for peanuts, Bobby. He's like, dude, you want them or not? I sold a bunch of prime steaks, and I think his are 10 ounces. So, yeah, I love the steak knife. And, like, I love the fish Robert. It's usually drum. You're right. But it's fresh drum. And his steaks are second to none. So, and I mean, it's like this little neighborhood. It's such a neighborhood gem. And if you haven't been, guys, go to the steak knife. Trust me.
That's Scott Craig with us from Katie's and Francesca Deli. Boy, a lot of a lot of stuff going on. I was talking to Fletcher Mackel last hour about the Pelicans, Scott, and I think Borrego's doing a better job. I'm skeptical of Joe Dumars if he can run it. The guy brought in Weaver, skeptical of him, skeptical if they're going to trade Zion. I mean, at the end of last year, I was like, you want Zion to play. You want Zion to play well. You want Zion to play so well that you can trade him and get something of value. I almost feel like Joe Dumars is like, wow, this is what we wanted out of him. Let's build the team around him. You know, Queen should be the face of the franchise. He's coming off the bench now. So not large crowds, you know, kind of league-wide. They're sort of the laughing stock franchise, both record-wise and how they're run. Things don't look too positive right now for the Pelicans. I hope things change quickly.
Well, considering one of the very first moves Dumars did was to trade the lottery pick this coming season.
Yep.
And oh, by the way, college players coming out of college are better now because you're not getting the 18-year-olds anymore. You're getting seasoned college players.
And it's a blockbuster class, too, this year.
It is. So you throw that away for a guy he's good. Queen's good. But come on, man. Was he a lottery pick? And you're not even using him right? Because now he wants to build around Zion because that dude decides he wants to be here suddenly. And it's a dumpster fire. And personally, I don't think they should have gotten rid of Griff because I know what happened because I'm friends with Griff. And it's a dumpster fire. And it's like third on their pecking order as to what they care about after horse racing and the Saints. And it's just sad because the fans of New Orleans deserved a better product.
No,
and
they
on
do.
top of it, the whole NBA is a bad product now because of, you know, the players just play when they want to play, you know.
Teams are tanking.
Load management.
Yep.
All the stupid stuff the players are doing now. I mean, come on, Corey, back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I mean, these guys were tough, hard-nosed, unbelievably great players that played every night. Jazz games in the 70s were so much fun. You know, and then you had Magic and Bird and then MJ. I mean, all the other players, Dominique. I mean, all the great players in the 80s. I mean, it was so competitive, and the NBA became a blockbuster back then, and they've managed to destroy it.
No, and
I think the ratings are down almost 60%. I don't watch it unless the Pelicans are playing.
They're going to water down the product more with expansion.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't see where they think this is a good product. And I don't know.
No, you're not alone in that.
These players that aren't playing are going to have to start taking pay cuts because there's not going to be enough money to go around.
No, Major League Baseball suffers, NBA suffers.
Yeah.
Opens the door for the NHL, opens the door for Major League Soccer with the World Cup coming.
Yeah.
They have a big opportunity to move up.
Oh, you see, I love hockey. No, I don't know. I can't imagine a hockey team here, but I just don't think we have the. I just can't see it. I'd rather see an MLB team, but we're not going to support that.
Yeah, I can't support MLB. Don't have enough population. Hockey's just, we're not a hockey city. I mean, the only other major league I think could be like soccer. We have such a huge Honduran population. If I brought in an MLS team, I'd name them a Spanish name, like that old Chivas team they used to have in Los Angeles. You know, tap into the Honduran population and tap into all the families where, you know, their kids are playing soccer.
But I tell you what, Val, I mean, the St. Louis City, the soccer team up there, we've been to a game and it's jam-packed. Now, they only seat, I don't know,
30,000 maybe.
20,000 or something.
Yep.
It's not much.
Yep.
But you talk about fun. And, I mean, it's a great product, and I could certainly see that. You know, there's no doubt. But I want the Pelicans to succeed here, but the NBA needs to figure themselves out first.
You're right about that. One thing that concerns me, I really wish Schwest would have got the team and not Tom Benson at the time, just to have, you know, two different owners competing against each other. I mean, Saints are always going to be number one. NBA will always be number two. I get that. But the problem with, and I'm glad Gail Benson owns them in one way, because they're not going anywhere. She's not going to allow either team to be moved. The Saints would never get moved, but an NBA franchise like the Pelicans could be moved with the wrong ownership. Gail Benson's not going to allow him to move, so I like that. But also with Gail Benson, the Pelicans are always going to be second fiddle to the Saints. They'll always be secondary to the Saints. That's never going to change.
And what about horse racing?
No, it's almost tied with horse racing. You're right, sadly. You're right.
I mean, it's just disappointing because they're not putting a good product on the court.
No, they're not putting a good product on the field. The Saints haven't been to the playoffs in 5 years. The Pelicans aren't very good. They don't win in horse racing. No, the Gail Benson and the loyalty to the city is the only saving grace right now.
Yeah. I mean, there's nobody at the games. I know that. I mean, I would try to go more, but Corey, I mean, I'm in the restaurant business. We work, you know.
No, and you're one of the few. You're one of the few that supports UNO.
They've been trying, yeah, and that's crazy because that's a fun, good product. Which it tells you how basketball is right now, you know, in this city. I mean, Tulane has a good product, and I think that's a cool little arena, you know, Fogelman. But, you know, they don't even get enough people.
Nope.
And they're on a college campus.
No, you're right.
You know? But it needs to be marketed differently. You've got to get a better product because the NBA is screwed because of load management and allowing players like LeBron James in his prime to play when he felt like playing. You know, like right now he's old, whatever. But Steph Curry should be on the court every night for Golden State.
No, you're right. And then you have teams like the Jazz tanking, getting fined by the NBA, trying to maneuver to get a good lottery pick. It's a broken product right now. Adam Silver needs to tighten up the NBA. There's no doubt about that.
I think he's clueless. I really do. I think he's clueless. I think he thinks everything's just fine and dandy, and it's not.
No, I think you're right. I don't think there's a sense of urgency with the NBA to right the ship, and the ship needs to be righted. You're right.
They're making money somehow. It must be the TV contract.
Yep.
That they probably signed a long time ago, and they get to go.
Yep.
But when they start realizing that they're losing sponsors and people aren't watching, they're going to stop paying. And then everybody's going to have to stop making all this money they're making because they're the most overpaid athletes I've ever seen.
Oh, no, the money's insane.
NBA players?
No, tens of millions of dollars annually. Some are like 30, 40, 50 mil a season. Of Corey Johnson
And they
with
don't
you on a
even play.
Fantasy Friday. Best quality, best price, best selection. You know I'm talking about Rouse's Market. You heading home from work right now on a Friday? Stock up. You'll probably pass 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 Rouse's Markets on the way home. New Orleans grocery store.
If you're
Rouse's
observing
Markets.
Lent, the Steak Knife in Lakeview is
You know
a
what,
great
Corey,
place
you
to
were
go.
right about
Start
their,
off with one of their 5 incredible salads with crab meat and avocado. How about a cup of seafood gumbo with shrimp, crab meat, and oysters? The crab meat au gratin as an appetizer or entree is as good as it gets. And speaking of entrees, try the Gulf Fish Robert, usually speckled trout or puppy drum, topped with jumbo lump crab meat. The Steak Knife in Lakeview for Lent.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Fence Man, a locally owned fencing company serving the metro New Orleans area for over 20 years.
I'm the fence man.
TheFenceman-NewOrleans.com.
Yeah, I'm the fence man.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters.
And you'll never have to clean your gutters again. Ever. I guarantee it.
Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now.
Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
Word is, one of the best restaurants in New Orleans isn't even in New Orleans. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville. Cross the lake and taste what you're missing. Tuesday through Saturday. Gallagher's 527 in Mandeville.
The Steak Knife restaurant in Lakeview has been at it for over 50 years. The reason? Because the Roth family does it right, serving only USDA prime beef, a neighborhood restaurant. But you don't have to live in the Lakeview neighborhood to enjoy the Steak Knife. Open Tuesday through Saturday night, the Steak Knife on Harrison Avenue between Canal Boulevard and City Park. For a reservation, call 488-8981 or online, steakkniferestaurant.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. Isn't it time to have that dream backyard you've always wanted? LGD Lawn and Landscapes can make it happen with artificial turf installation. Synthetic turf gives you the look and feel of natural grass. You get a beautiful lawn without the ongoing expenses of maintenance and no puddles, meaning you won't be tracking grass or dirt into the house. Let LGD come to your house and give you a free estimate. NOLALGD.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab. Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Yeah, you're right. Every day, this show on radio, on television, on social media, YouTube and X Live, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. It's the end of the month. Head over to Lamarck Ford, pick up an F-150, an Explorer, or a Mustang. They've got everything you want in Ford vehicles. And Lamarck Lincoln, the number one Lincoln dealership in the state. Those black label Lincoln SUVs are off the charts. If you own a business and you need a commercial truck, van, or SUV, the Lamarck Crescent City Ford dealership in Elmwood has you covered. Scott Craig's with us for a few more minutes. Scott, it's Friday. It's Lent in New Orleans. Francesca Deli. Friday's always seafood night. You have these huge trays, half a tray, a whole tray. Fill us in on that real quick and how many they feed. It's an incredible bargain.
It is a half steam pan or a whole steam pan full of seafood. And it's fried shrimp, oysters, crawfish tails, crab cakes, hush puppies. I always want to say shut up, you dogs, because it's what my dad used to say. The hush puppies, frips. I mean, you get everything, all the sides with it, and it's absolutely delicious. And it says 2 to 4 people. I'm telling you, man, 2 to 4 people wipe that out easy.
No, the half a steam tray is that square steam tray about 3 inches deep. It's at least 10 inches by 10 inches. The large steam tray is almost 2 feet long, about 10 inches wide, about 3 inches deep. What is it, $50 for the half, $80 for the full?
74 for the full, 50 for the half. But you, I'm like when you go to an event, when you go to a party and it's being catered and you're at a buffet, right?
Yep.
The large pan is a whole buffet pan.
Yep.
It's a lot of seafood, man.
No, that pan will feed at least 8 people.
It does.
So for $75, you're talking about $8, $9 a head.
Mm-hmm.
That's impossible to beat.
It's a good deal, y'all.
I mean, a fish fry at the church is $8 or
We just want our
$9.
little piece of the pie. That's all.
Yep.
I don't want $295 for a prefix menu. I'm not going to do that to you.
No.
And you can choose what you want.
Now, Katie's, you have a ridiculous amount of seafood, at least a dozen seafood entrees.
I was probably more than that. I haven't counted them, but, including po' boys and, there's so many things you can do with seafood at Katie's. We're a seafood restaurant. It's a seafood Italian restaurant.
What are some of the seafood entrees you got tonight on Friday for Lent?
We've got seafood ravioli. We've got sea bass beurre blanc. We've got redfish nola, which is all fresh. This is all fresh fish. Fresh tuna, fresh catfish. I don't buy frozen catfish. It's fresh catfish. It's so much. You'd have to see it to believe it. Just come. If you want seafood, just come to Katie's tonight. We've got seafood.
Crawfish beignets, fried shrimp, fried oyster platter.
And look,
What's the lobster? Lobster ravioli?
I had to make 80 raviolis for the seafood raviolis tonight. That's what I was doing before. It's the reason I couldn't come out to the show today, because I had to make these wraps.
And the weather's
Anyway.
fantastic for outdoor dining at Katie's in the patio.
All weekend.
Yep.
It's going to be a gorgeous weekend. And we start our crawfish boils on March 5th.
Wow, next week.
Yep. Every Thursday, Marcus makes his awesome boiled crawfish, and he uses Conica sausage from Mobile. You know the Conica sausage, the smoked sausage?
Wow.
We're not using the cheap stuff people use. We're using Conica. And it is the best smoked sausage you will have.
When does the crawfish come out the pot on a Thursday?
4 o'clock on Thursday.
Wow.
You come in, we have happy hour. We've got everything else going on. You can get half-price char-grilled oysters, half-price appetizers. I mean, it's just a great deal on Thursday afternoon. You can't beat it.
Plus fresh boiled crawfish tails. Wow.
Yeah.
Or I should say fresh boiled
It's
crawfish.
a lot of fun, too. And you sit on the patio and you just chill and listen to some music. I might get a 3-piece or something in a couple of weeks. I'm thinking about doing some 3-pieces for Jazz Fest outside on the patio.
3 pieces, what, a band?
3-piece bands.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying to make it as cool can be.
I hear that. Scott,
It ain't.
always a pleasure, brother.
Thanks, Corey. Love talking to you. Just 2 yats chopping it up.
You got that right. We'll see you tonight at
All right,
Katie's
brother.
and Francesca.
All right, buddy. Later.
That's Scott Craig. It's Lent. It's Friday. Katie's has so many great seafood dishes. And Francesca Deli, it's seafood night. Those huge pans of fried catfish, fried seafood platters in those huge pans. The $50 one that serves probably 6 people. And the one that's $75 serves like 8 or 10 people. Talking like $6, $7, $8 a head. Even Blue Boy's excited. Have a great weekend, New Orleans. We'll be back here on Monday, straight up 4 o'clock every weekday, 4 to 6 p.m. See you then. Down, Blue Boy.
You're on
Blue
the
Boy
Neutral Ground
down.
with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel
He's not
333.
quieting up today,
Also
folks.
on YouTube, on radio at
Blue
NOLA
Boy,
Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.
Good boy, Blue Boy.